Yeah, so good old Jacko, Pastorius. Everybody said he was the greatest bass player in the world. He said he was the greatest bass player in the world as well. And oh dear, he was such a nasty man. Bless his little cotton socks. He tried to take, when I joined Eric eventually in 1979, we were in Bangkok or somewhere, and he sort of steamed into the band party after a gig and told Eric he'd got the wrong bass player in his band, and Eric was disgusted at him, and such a shame. The guy was a genius bass player. I mean, all his stuff with Weather Report and all of that business. He used to use it was one of these, just like that. I actually saw the guy live, and he got this and dug all the frets out and put some sort of plaster in the hole or something. Absolutely fantastic player. Anyway, he had a bass of doom, and it was more like the bass of gloom when he was spouting off. But this is the bass of Pink Panther. So, thanks Jacko. Anyway, then from there, from Joan's album, that Love and Affection, the bass line's really simple, but I've seen Joan about 3 or 4 times. Whenever she plays it on stage, the bass player never gets it right. That's all it is. And then in the middle were all the funny chords that the piano player had arranged. I just added onto a bottom E. Because I knew from my time at college that any note will go with any note if they're far enough apart. That's very true. And so for all you prog rockers out there, in the middle of all of those descending chords, in the middle, I just hang on to an E, because it was the lowest note I had. And that was it. Where the sax solo is over it, I just don't want to bottom E, which changed everything. And the rest of the time it was just that bass line. So Glyn was quite impressed with that. In fact, they were so impressed with it that they put the orchestra around my bass line. And then Joan came up with that lovely "Oh Baby Love," you know, in the chorus, and that made it just that combination of the sax solo, my bass line, the strings, and that thing was. I mean, it's just absolutely magic. She's not. I don't think she's surpassed that in her thing. But there was that 3 scraps of paper. She says that she planned all that at home. Joan. Anyway, sorry mate, I had to get that in. Now then, what happened after that? Oh yeah, we did 2 more albums with her, but in the meantime, Pete Townsend decided that he was going to help Ronnie Lane out. Now Ronnie was the bass player in the Small Faces, another fantastic bass player. Ronnie, bless his heart. But he was starting to struggle a little bit with his illness. He eventually died of it. I think it was multiple sclerosis, because he got slower and slower and slower. And Pete and I had worked together on something before, and I can't remember what it was. But anyway, it's Pete and who was that drummer? Who was the drummer with the big Live Aid guy who flew to New York? what's his name? I can't remember. I'll remember in a minute. Anyway, Pete decided he was going to do this album for Ronnie Lane, and Ronnie didn't play on all of it. In fact, I think Pete did maybe a couple of bass lines on it. I definitely did some double bass on it, and I did some electric bass on it for Ronnie. That was the next thing that happened with Glyn, by which time Glyn and I were creatively bonded, let's put it that way. And he's very kindly written about those days in his new book, Soundman, I think it's called. Anyway, there's a photograph of me in there, which is great, with this very bass. Can't remember the page number. I was going to bring it today to sort of just, you know, say, but there we are. Anyway, so the next call I got was Glyn. No, somebody called Paul Kennelly rang me and said, oh, he said, I've got some music to do. He said, would you come and do some sessions for me in my basement? Yeah, sure. You know, I'll pay you normally. Yeah, okay, right. So me and the old bass trusty one went down there, and we started doing these country songs. All of that. And it was music about the American Civil War that I've got not a clue about. And anyway, apparently A&M really liked it, and Jerry Moss, who was the guy, Alpert and Moss, it was like the trumpet player, Herb Alpert, Jerry Moss, were really good friends with Waylon Jennings and Jesse Coulter, who were the Nashville, at the time, you know, huge stars, and he persuaded Paul Kennelly to allow them to write characters around each one of these songs, and it turned out to be an album called White Mansions. And now on that album, Waylon Jennings was the narrator, Jesse Coulter was I can't remember who she was, anyway she took a part, but everybody on the album got a little role, and my picture, as well as the rest of them, is on the album, but in caricature form. And the album was an absolutely huge musical success. I'm very proud to be on that White Mansions album. I mean, there were people like Eric Clapton, Bernie Ledden, John Dillon, Waylon Jennings, Jesse Coulter, the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, etc., etc. So it was a huge conglomeration between the American greats and an original English rhythm section.